Welcome to my channel. Here we do YouTube pick a card tarot videos, and we have 3 groups for you to choose from today. The theme of today's pick a card is going to be why they want to be like you. And so we have group 1 with the New Era Element Tarot. We have group 2 with the Audacity deck, and we have group 3 with the Radiant Wise Tarot. So you can take a moment to choose whichever pile you feel the most drawn to. Everyone has different ways of doing that. Some people feel it's easy to meditate or close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths and see if something comes to you. Otherwise, you can navigate this however feels best. Anyway, so we will get started with group 1. Timestamps are in the description box, and yeah, we'll see you there. Okay, welcoming group 1. If you chose the New Era Element Tarot, just to quickly show you, then this will be your reading today for why they want to be like you. And immediately there's definitely something here that they see in you that is like vibrant, healthy, holistic, abundance, that they have a lot of lack in this area. And I actually think it's like emotional fulfillment and happiness. It's like a lot of potential here as well, and ease of flowing through situations and flowing through life with grace of movement and a lot of compassion for yourself. And there's something here specifically linked to this compassion that they just can't, they don't understand what it is. I think they see you from the outside and they know you do this thing or embody this thing. There's a way that you allow yourself to operate that they know that it's different. They know they don't have it. They know they don't understand it. And they really don't know what exactly it is that you do differently. All they know is that you do something differently and that they would like to have that thing too. And it is like something that's hard for them to put their finger on, and it feels almost like it's unattainable. Yeah. I do. There is a small group here where some of these people, this may play into like your beauty or outward appearance in some way. But a lot of it is just how you treat yourself, how you carry yourself, how you move throughout the world. I guess how it's like the grace you give yourself in different situations, how you handle things. There's something here, it's like getting the word envious. So they're quite envious of the way that you choose to live life, or your, I don't know if it's like it's a mentality or just an emotional capacity. It's like you totally allow yourself to be at the absolute utter depths when that time is there, and you just resurface as if it never happened because you're just living in the moment, having fun or making the most of it, or coming up for air in some ways. Yeah, okay. I think they see you, what you have, as a wish fulfillment. So they definitely, that it's really good confirmation, because it definitely lines up with today's reading, but it's that like intense to them. And I think this, whatever the situation is, it makes them feel like an amateur. It makes them feel like a beginner, like they don't have control, or it's like obvious that I think that they don't have control, but it makes them feel vulnerable. It makes them feel like they lack skill. It makes them feel like they lack competency in some way, or there's like a type of confidence you have in the cups realm where it's like you're very confident in the way that you handle these situations or navigate this like emotional territory that this person's not used to seeing. And I think they put a brave face on, and I think they generally are a very brave person. I think these are things that are mirrored within you that they see, which is kind of one of those like entry level things, like in their mind when they meet a person and they're kind of looking at your characteristics and, all the different information about you that they have, how you act and how you carry yourself. And they're kind of like ticking boxes or, crossing things off the list for whether they would even give you like any type of consideration for as to whether they would ever entertain like some type of connection with you, whether that, whatever that looks like, it doesn't matter. And the other part of it is like a respect. So I think for this person, part of that process would be, before anything, do they respect you? And then once they do respect you, then it's like, okay, now I respect you. Could we actually have a connection? Is this a person who, like, I think this person idealizes learning from the people around them. So I think in some ways they're actually quite healthily minded, where they do try to place themselves among people that it actually seems like it's a good energy, like it's quite holistically kind of rounded, where they just know that they can improve themselves by being around people who are actually like, I don't know if it's like a cut above the rest, but it's kind of like they know you know more, or they see you being very practiced, or they see you being very disciplined, or they see you very embodied, whatever that looks like. I actually think for you guys, it's coming back to that emotional stuff. They see you move through life's courses and turbulence with grace. They see you navigate your emotional system with grace. And they see you, I think for them, it's like a sore point. And so it's like, it confuses them. They get in their head, they get in their feelings because of it. I think they kind of tend to get consumed by some of these feelings at different times. There is definitely a potential here. This person could get jealous at different points in time. But it's more just because they know that they kind of lack this ability to navigate these situations in the way that you do. So yeah, they see you as graceful. I couldn't have said that enough times in the reading. I think they do see you as fun. They see you as outgoing. They see you as, you definitely have like a lot of depth. They see you as a person who can kind of do the light of the light and the dark of the dark and everything in between, like all the shades. So it's kind of like, you can have deep and meaningful conversations and be serious and give something that's like due core, like validation and compassion, but you can really like spend the time there when you need to. And for a lot of people that might be very uncomfortable, but then you can also like flip in a second and go have fun. And so that's something that they really like as well. What else? Why do they want to be like you? There could be something here about the way that you dress yourself, or like makeup, or the way you present yourself to the world, like what kind of face you put on. I do think some of this is specifically like, not necessarily how you do your hair, but it's like your style or your makeup. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't have to be makeup, right? That's just like an extra point of confirmation for those that could be resonant for. I feel like if you are a person who dresses very masculine, like that, if you were a person wearing like clean cut, fresh suits that have like not a single crease in them, and you had like a buttoned up shirt on, and your cuffs are like perfect, and you have the cufflinks on, and it's like everything is like perfect. I don't know how to explain it. It's like not a single hair is out of place, and everything is exactly how it should be. And so I'm aware that there's probably not a whole heap of men sitting around in like suits watching these videos. There could be, but it's more the fact that like, I think they see you do something with precision. So this could be something here where it's like part of this wish fulfillment and part of why they want to be like you, because they see you do things with precision, very concisely, very confidently, very competently. Yeah, I think we've kind of already said that stuff. But it's like, I don't know if it's like clean cut, but it's like in a way that they appreciate. It's like if you took, it's like, what am I trying to say? It's just being well put together. I think that's what it is. It's like you're very put together. You could potentially come off polished, and if you don't come off polished, they just like the way that you do everything. They like the style. Yeah. Okay. But you could have like nice clothes or something. I don't know. They like something that you do, or something, I don't know, something that you do. Okay. I think they see that it works for you too. they see that it's really, I think this person thinks you're going places, and I think that like why they want to be like you. So obviously they want to go places too, right? But there's that disparity between where they feel they're at and where you're at. And so there's also something here where when you met this person, or a bulk, like specific interaction that you had with them, or a period of time where you spent like a lot of time with them. I'm hearing inordinate amount of time with them compared to like previously. There's something here where this person may have seen you really in the depths, very consumed by everything that was going on, potentially just kind of just having to be where you were because there was nothing that you could really do about your situation. Like everything was out of control around you. And I think they seen that you had this tendency that you could kind of lean into this energy, but you were still very much like learning yourself, or you were still very much new to it. And if you weren't new to it, you could have been younger. You genuinely could have been younger. But we're always younger with any past situation, but I mean like, years younger. There's also something here where I think they just seen you potentially show up stoic in some sort of way. Yeah, maybe they seen you practice like a type of stoicism or neutrality or something like that in the face of some kind of crazy situation that should have really thrown you through some type of emotional loop. And so I think with this person, they probably seen a bit of a duality with how you handled the situations at the time, or whatever was happening to you. It feels like you were going through a very rough time, but it was, or whatever was affecting you was outside of your control anyway. And so it's something here where it's like, on one hand, they see you kind of get like swept up with whatever it was, or thrown around emotionally by whatever it was you're experiencing. But then on the other hand, they also seen you be incredibly brave and show up with that face of stoicism where you're like ready for it, and not really giving anything away, and not breaking a sweat, and not being phased by it, just understanding in totality that this is just what is happening and what you're here for. And so it was kind of something here where they had to kind of take stock of, or they had to note, or it was a specific moment in time that they cannot tear themselves away from, where they remember you not being as good at this thing as what you were, like what you are now. But they remember you always having that tendency or that characteristic, but maybe it was like very undeveloped at that time, or you were, I don't know if I want to say that you guys have even had more practice. It could have just been the size of like whatever was sort of capsizing your boat, like whatever the external circumstances were like so great and so heavy that this person could have thought that you were kind of underdeveloped. But in reality, it was like you actually were always very developed in this area, or always handled it with grace and competence. But like, you just, any person that would have faced this type of situation like what you did would have crumbled like that. And so it's kind of a testament to like where, I don't know, the person that you are, and the way that you handle life and navigate it, because they are seeing this as a period of growth for you. And I'm sure that it is, like, as is always in life, that we kind of grow and learn from everything, right? But they are seeing this as in you starting out very amateur-like, and then building yourself up through this circumstance. And while they are partly right, then still not understanding or giving you the credit for the fact that you actually always had this in you, but you weren't, you were put in a position where it was like you literally could not do better. Like it was impossible to do better in some way, okay? And what I would say to that, it's also kind of a testament to what you've been through, where I don't think this person hasn't had troubles in life. I'm sure that they definitely have. Most people have, right? But there's something here where it's like you could have been going through seemingly similar kind of circumstances. So you could have also given what they're experiencing a lot of like weight and credibility and validity of validation. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, and when that was happening, I think that they thought in their mind that your experience, what you were both experiencing, was the same. In a lot of ways it was, I think that they very much underestimated the weight of your situation. I think they knew it was different, but they didn't really understand it. Anyway, so this could a little bit speak to this person being a bit further on their journey and being a little bit closer to that realization, but I genuinely don't feel like they're there yet, because I think that they had to go through this whole stage of like, I think they actually really thought that you would never get better at one point. There was like one specific point in time where they never thought you would get better, or you might have seemingly been going backwards, or like maybe you were just super upset, or just really like, it could have almost been a little bit like self-loathing, kind of detrimental type energy, where it's like, when you get really, really depressed or sad, you don't have to have been like, depressed, but I'd say it's probably pretty close if you weren't. Whatever you're experiencing, like just so much overwhelm, or so much emotion, or so much sadness or grief or something here. Like the card says disappointment, so it could have been genuine disappointment as well, just in how things turned out in life weren't really the, what you probably had in mind, or what would have, served you, or been, I don't know, it's like that thing of like not even meeting the bare basics, just like life truly being kind of terrible. And so this person, I think, instead of like realizing this was part of your processing, part of your grieving or something like that, they part of just being in that moment exactly where you're at, they thought you were going backwards here. They really thought that you might have been like overindulging in like kind of, I don't know, it might not have been totally self-destructive behaviors. It could have just been things like comfort eating, and if you like smoke cigarettes, maybe you were like chain smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I don't know what that looks like for everyone. Maybe you laid in bed for weeks and cried every day. I don't know. Maybe you were like the level of like life that was not in your eyes through just getting through the day. I don't know. But it's like this person, they thought, it's like they just didn't understand that you were like currently going through it. They thought that period had like already happened, and they thought that maybe they didn't know you as well as they thought, because they initially seen you as this person who had the real potential to like always be what you are, but they still seen you as a person who was like maybe lacking in some way. But then it was like they thought you got so much worse, or you really, I think they thought in some way that you potentially could have been like a little bit broken, whether you resonate with that or not. And so it was like, at this point, I think that it's not really a case at this particular point that they wanted to be like you, even though they initially did, and they definitely do now, or from this time you built yourself up out of it. But it was like, I think at that point they were like quite happy not being like you, and that's, yeah, and it is kind of like an ego thing for them, where it was like, well, I don't know, I don't want to throw that around too lightly, because it's like, sometimes they use those words and it's like a very strong affect. This was more like an internal kind of little note to self-judgment that or observation, I want to say, that they may have made, as opposed to being something that was kind of full on. Anyway, and I think that they just thought that's all you would ever amount to. Like you would never get better, you would never go anywhere, you'd remain stagnant, like you'd never really have much more to give. They could have actually noticed a change in maybe how much you gave to them, whereas prior to you could have been quite loving. And if it wasn't that, it could have been something like just that lackluster for life that I was kind of touching on earlier. But there's also something here that I think it, like when they look at all the things that about you that they like, that they want to be like you, like those characteristics they want, it really makes them feel hollow. Yeah. I think they get a bit intimidated of your capacity in some way. I think they just see you being a person who cannot be rocked. But there's also something here where I think that this person knows that you're coming into a time of like potentially better fortune. And so when I say that, it doesn't have to be all, you know, money. It definitely could be. I think this is actually good times. I think it's like having things that you want, doing things that you want. I think it's freedom. I'm getting the word equality. So maybe you had some type of experience before where you didn't experience a lot of equality. And this, a little bit of it could potentially be that they see you like as that equal again. But I think it's at a point now where they know they actually see you as a little bit higher up than them as well. Because it was kind of like that at the start as well. It was like how they, you know, decided that they wanted some type of connection with you. It feels like they definitely fell into comparison energy, which is a bit sad. If you walked away from this person, because for some of you, you definitely could have, I don't think that this person really realized what they had, or it was like they could have let their emotion overwhelm them so much that they made choices or took actions. Look, it seems like they had like an emotional reaction here, and like whatever happened out of that emotional reaction could have caused like some sort of ending. But then they like really wish that they hadn't let it get the better of them, because then they feel like they kind of wrecked it for themselves. And then they're seeing you go off into this kind of new era of life. Yeah. Okay, do you want to take more cards? Okay, no, I think that that's everything that I have for this group so far. So why they want to be like you, I think that they just highly, they want to be able to have these sort of traits that you do where you navigate the world gracefully. There's actually, do you know, there's also something here where this person could think that you're very lucky, and so they want to be lucky. And some of them, they kind of, yeah, why they want to be like you. I'm trying not to get too off topic with it, because I could feel that this person would want to take it other places. So why they want to be like you. Yeah, they like your style. They like the way you carry yourself. They like the face that you put onto the world, your depth, your ability to still have fun and a good time. Anything else? No, that's really everything. I feel like I've already said a lot of that stuff. It was just becoming repetitious. So at that point, I think we've covered it. All right, guys. Hopefully this was an interesting one, if nothing else. If this resonated, definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And otherwise, take care, guys. And I'll see you all in another one. Bye. Okay, welcome in group 2. If you chose the Audacity deck, then this will be your reading today for like why they want to be like you. And the first thing is that I think that they see like two parts of you that no one can contend with. It's kind of like a very vivacious, out there, unique, beautiful personality. Potentially a person who's kind of like wild and untamable and kind of swept with the wind wherever they're so pleased to be, you know, wherever their heart takes them, wherever they're, I don't know, it doesn't even feel like really heart energy. It's like, honestly, probably more fire energy. Like, here's the fun, there's the fun, or here's the thing that lights me up, there's the thing that lights me up, here's the passion, there's the passion. It actually is, a lot of it's like having a good time, and there could potentially for some of you be like a really integrated aspect here as well, where you're actually a person who, you could do like the real serious type of like spirituality, but you could also be a person who does go out and party. I'm strongly getting that. And like, it's okay to do both. It's not a thing. So why they want to be like you. So they may see you embodying this energy where it's like you can live, you have like such a dynamic personality that they see all these different like different versions of you, or different aspects of you, really, where it's like all this stuff is like really meaningful to you, or you like spend heaps of time doing it, or going out and, you know, doing these things, and then they're just kind of mind blown, like how dynamic you are. It's really like why they want to be like you is because you're seen to them as being super dynamic. And it's like, yeah, really beautiful. We already talked about that. Some of you guys could be a little bit boho, a little bit, I don't know. I'm not sure what else. I feel like it's definitely boho. I am getting like down to earth and grassroots as well. So just take what resonates there. Some of you guys could, I don't know if you're tanned or if you just spend a lot of time outside. Because for some of you, I don't feel like you particularly are tanned. Like, obviously, that part doesn't really matter. It's just take what resonates. But I think there's also something here where it's like you just embrace any given moment in time, well, no matter where you're at. And you literally like, I feel like this would be a group that you might not even put that much emphasis on beauty, even though you could be very beautiful anyway. And it's kind of like you're just so living in the moment and getting vivacious again, that it's like they don't even realize that like half of your beauty is not because you've like tried or anything. It's just because you're just like a great person, or having a good time, or you're like just having heaps of fun, and you're just so in the moment. Yeah. I think that there's something, this would be the type of group that like people wouldn't even realize. It's like they would never be able to even comprehend or separate like your physical looks from like your actual personality, or like your energy or charisma or something like that, because they just would never. It's like you're just, yeah, it's being very well integrated. Hey, it's like it's all of who you are. It seems very out in the open as well, which is actually really good. I really like that. It's like very honest, very transparent. It's very authentic. It's like, this is just who I am. And so there is something here where this person, they could see you a person who definitely challenges norms, and you don't really care for any BS, and you will just like happily show up and be yourself. And to a point where I do think like others, I don't think people necessarily see you as a person that they're like, "Oh, how do they have the audacity to do that or be like that?" It's more just like they wish that they had that confidence or authenticity in themselves for why they could be like you. So, yeah. I don't know. There's also something here about like dancing among the dead. So there's something here where it's like, for some of you, you could actually be like very intuitive or like spiritually connected. You could, you know, veer on like mediumship and stuff. What else is there? I don't know. Like, I was just getting holistic practices, right? So it doesn't matter what that looks like. But there's also like themes of Halloween. So like Samhain, moonlight practices, sun gazing, sort of. This could go any which way, really. Working with bones, working with the elements, working with like snake skin. Yeah, what else have we got? This is like a person who's not necessarily following any one given handbook. It's like you're very much making up the rules as you go, and you're an original person, like an original thinker, original creator. Just everything about you is original. Like there is no, you're not like out there being a copycat. You're not just going, you know, because there's an element, there are times where it's like not really about being a copycat. You know, you like go to a shop and you know, you see all the trends and you're like, oh, I like that trend, so I'm going to wear that stuff. But it's like you might wear things that are not specifically on trend at the time. And maybe you could be a person who actually is very trendy, but I feel like in a way of like you would kind of set the trend or something. And if it's not that, you're fully setting a trend. It's like other people really appreciate your style or the way that you dress or something here as well. Yeah. Okay. So I see. Yeah, I already talked about being fun, why they want to be like you. I think they would also see you as a person who has all the connections. So you're like good on your own, but you also have all the connections. I think you could probably be a group that like people know you. A lot of people know you. Yeah, you might have like a reputation that precedes you, like whether that's locally or whether you actually like are on social media. You could just have a lot of people that know you, And so everyone's like, oh yeah, that's like Jack, and Jack's a great guy, or that's Jill, and Jill's like a great chick. I don't know. I'll see if there's anything else before we move on. People could like the way that, so not people, but like why this person. I think it's a general thing as well. I just need to sort of say that because that's what is actually coming through. It is something that people generally like about you, but it's one of the reasons why this person wants to be like you is probably because a lot of this stuff is stuff that people generally like about you. So they kind of notice how everyone likes you. But there is also, sorry, I've got a lot of background noises. We've actually got like construction sites happening around us today, not too far. There's also something here where it's like, yeah, I don't know, people like you. They like you. I think they just really like your personality. I'm definitely getting like strong boho vintage vibes as well. So it could be like your aesthetic. They really like your aesthetic. The way that your body moves and the way, so like whether you could like dance or do some sort of sport or something, even if you did like yoga or like a meditation, but it was like some type of like moving meditation. So they could actually it could just be like also again the physical appearance as well. This person could very much be attracted to or find you attractive, but I don't feel like there's weird competitive stuff here. It just seems very like honest. I think you would probably inspire this person to let their hair down a little bit and just let themselves be a bit more okay with like just being themselves across I don't know, in general, yeah, across the board. This person could also like your tattoos, so why they want to be like you is because you could have tattoos that are like really interesting or beautiful or like they haven't seen before or something. And if it's not tattoos, just some type of body work or art. Again, it could just be your style. Yeah. Oh, there's also the perseverance thing. I totally didn't even mention that. I think they could just see you as a classic who stands the test of time. Like you could be aging well, but you could also have been a person who's like maintained like a type of popularity or something over a long time, or you've maintained your, maybe not aesthetic, but you've maintained this likability from other people. You've maintained this authenticity. You may have, for some of you, maintained that kind of on-trend or trend-setting type of nature as well. Yeah. All right. You could, so I talked about you could have a beautiful aesthetic. Your house or your home, if you have, I don't know, some of you I almost see like a little apartment. It might not be, but it's like very clean, minimal touches of like, I don't know, it's like maybe a crystal here and a little piece of driftwood here. It's all like perfectly placed and it's like very clean, very minimal. I don't know how else, but modern as well. And like, yeah, I don't know. It might not be like that at all, but it's just like, it could just be highlighting to me the quality of the aesthetic, regardless of like what type it specifically is or what the style is. But so this person could have actually seen your home, unless you've kind of posted pictures on Instagram, because this could be a group that would have some type of like social media following or something, you might just post like things like, I don't know, something that's from inside your home and they see it and they really like that aesthetic. Okay. All right, guys, that's everything that I have for you today for group 2. So this is like relatively quick, but it was good. We got to the point and got, I don't know, hopefully it was like interesting. Yeah, I don't know. If you resonate with this reading, definitely subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you all in another one. Take care. Okay, welcome in group 3. If you chose a Radiant Wise Tarot, then this will be your group reading today on why they want to be like you. And the very first thing that I think is that they could see you as a person who is like large and in charge, or a person who is kind of in charge of their own life. You like don't take directives from anybody, but you could actually be good at giving directions or delegating. You could just be a person who, you'll just naturally take charge in any situation. I don't think people would mess with you. There could be a level here of you being a person who could throw down if you needed to. There's also something here where you could be a leader. You could be quiet, confident, competent. You could just be quite strong. You could be a very strong person. I think there's like no real time for messing around. You could like things done quickly or something like that. High level of respect as well. So, don't waste my time. And I think there's something here really contrary where maybe they know you in a different environment or a different aspect of you or in a different type of relationship, and they see you actually be really giving and kind and compassionate in some way or supportive, and maybe it's like the way that you do that is just offering like an optimistic kind of response or something. I'm not sure. Something that's kind of like uplifting, and you might not have to say a lot, but like what you say is to the point, and I think they know that when you say something you mean it. So maybe this side of you they don't see very often, so they know that when it comes out it's very genuine. It's not like overused. It's not I don't know, like you're not being a pushover, you're not being a people pleaser or anything like that. So they know it could be very uplifting for them. It could actually make them feel quite well supported, even if in their mind they might not necessarily think of you as a person they would go to for support. I think they feel really good when they have had some type of supportive word said to them by you. So there's something here where this person could see like a true contrast between you and themselves, where you're strong in the ways that they do not feel that they are. And so this is why they like these things about you, because you could be complete opposites. And I think I am getting something about like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So this definitely could be like a relative. It doesn't have to be, but it could just be like like a likeliness to the fact that maybe you both have these tendencies that you observe within each other, but this person could be a lot softer, and maybe it's only in those really adverse situations that they pull out this kind of like boss-like energy where they won't take any BS and they won't put up with much. It's like almost like it turns into like a will not tolerate anything that is not the truth, direct and to the point. Like do not mess me around, and actually commands respect. So yeah, it's very much like one person kind of lives in this taking charge energy and has their small moments of like soft supportiveness. This other person tends to live in this supported sort of soft, more feminine space. Potentially always being very kind and happy to help, but like if someone kind of comes at them the wrong way or swinging, then it's like they're going to step up to the plate and be like, do we have a problem? So take what resonates there, guys, because I think some of you could be on the other side of this, and this could be some of the things of why you want to actually be like this person. So yeah, bit of both here. Okay, what else do we have? There could be a mismatch in energy at different times here where this person, for some of you, this could maybe, like it might not have been a relative, but it could have actually been potentially like an ex-partner or something like that. And so this person could see you as being very hard in these moments, and they could be feeling a little bit heartbroken, and they wish that they could be as strong as you sort of during that time or something. Or they wish that there's something here too where I think you actually could have had quite firm integrity, or you could have not swayed in any decision that you made. Like once you made a decision, that was it and it was final. And so if that was the case, that could be something that they kind of wish that they had such a strong sense of direction within themselves in that way. And there was like a real journey here. So this person also could have potentially, this could, I don't know, for somebody here, the other person has witnessed this person going through the pilgrimage journey of maybe potentially a time of deep soul growth or spirituality, or just learning life lessons through experience, but actually really getting everything out of those moments in time and really growing from them as a person, like actually being developed, actually being well thought out, actually having a little bit of wisdom maybe in some way. So but having had the real life experience and journey here to kind of like, it's not born out of nowhere. Like there's a lot of substance here. And I think that whoever this person is can teach people through the way that they navigate the pilgrimage. Like whatever, it feels like this person could have seen you navigate a very long journey, like you could have been, it is a little bit soul searchy, but it also could have been like just navigating life's lessons through this lens of, like acceptance and gratitude for the experience for the soul so that you're better off or something like that. It's hard to say what that is, or vice versa. I'm actually starting to get a little bit lost in this reading, guys. So again, with that, just your situation, take what resonates. Anything that doesn't fit, just leave it for the person that it's for. I'm going to take more cards and see if we can get this back on track. So this person could see you a person who has like freedom of choice, like you are a sovereign being, you make your decisions. They could potentially feel like sometimes they are not always 100% in control of some of the notions or beliefs that they put forward in some way. For some of these people, I believe that is a potential that they sort of receive messages from above. And so that's what they actually mean by it. Whereas others of these people, they could actually feel like they are, not that they could feel like it's a case that they could have grown up with some type of like potentially religious background or something like that. So it's like even what they're trying to offer you in these moments could still come off with a bit of a tainted or tinted lens, if that makes sense. And so that could be something here that they acknowledge about you as part of why they would like to be about you, because they see you as like this total sovereign being who's making their own decisions. But I think there's something here where it's like you're very decisive. And so because you're so decisive, that could be a little bit intimidating to them, because I think this person probably doesn't give it making decisions in their own life. They could really just want to go with the flow, and they might not really want to commit to things, or they might not want to take responsibility for it. Or even if it's none of those things, it could just be a case that like decisions make them feel emotional, and it's hard for them to just pick something and go with it, if that makes sense. It's hard for them to pull themselves out of, for some of them, they could be like really service orientated people. So they see you potentially doing service in a way that is not the way they would kind of equate it in their mind. Like it may not typically be a service people think of. When you think of service, you think of kind of like whether that's like caretaking, housekeeping, providing some type of like health service to a person, providing service to a person in need through the lens of like a helping hand or kind assistance or supportive kind of nurturing or something like that. Whereas I think that they see you as a person who takes charge, and it's like you are of service in the fact that you do not waste people's time. There's very much like a big respect for time here. And you are to the point, so there is like this directness and honesty. There's no mucking around. There's no misguidedness here, I think. And I think because you know what you want. So it's kind of like, in essence, it's like you're a service for like not clogging up the system. You're a service for being an independent person. You are a service for when nobody knows where to go or what to do, they can kind of look to you to make the hard decision that they can't or don't want to. I think there is kind of an acknowledgement here that you may potentially have some type of mindset that is, it is definitely looking through a different lens here in life, but it could have been because you're from either an older generation or a very different position within society that the two of you could hold as kind of like polarity in the way that you are seen, or the type of demographic that you're in or something like that as well. So that could make a big difference here. But I think this person, that it all plays into that, why they want to be like you, because they see so much strength and difference here in comparison to themselves. Yeah. I do feel the need to say with this group, I do think that this group is they're still like happy about themselves or love themselves, or they don't necessarily like want to change themselves. They're not necessarily like jealous or anything weird like that. It's really just like they can admire these traits within you and they can think to themselves, that's not such a bad thing, or I can appreciate that, or I wouldn't mind kind of being like that, or, you know, having the strength to pull that off without like sweating it too much, or I want to have the ability to make that hard decision just like they do. It's a little bit role model-y energy, if I'm honest. So yeah, but anyway guys, hopefully this is helpful in some way. If this resonates with you, oh, there's something here too, you could see things that they do not see. So this person could get a little bit swept up in some of the stuff going on around them, but I think you could be quite observant, or you could actually readily pick up on, you could make good judgments, and that's something that this person actually, that's definitely something here that they see for why they would like to be like you. They would like to have that eye for discernment, or that judgment call, or seeing things for what they are, or actually having the ability to be as observant as you are. Because there's something here, this person could have problems potentially with like paying attention. So you could have references to like ADHD and things like that. Not necessarily, could just be they have their hands full, or maybe they've never really looked through that lens in life before. It's hard to say. So everyone is different situations for different people. But I feel like I'm just trying to wrap it up and I'm getting a little bit more. And they could see you as a person who sees the truth. Yeah. That you can see past people's maybe agendas or something like that as well. Yeah, you're really seeing a situation for what it is. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, if it resonates, definitely subscribe to the channel. I also have a Patreon if that's something that you're interested in, if you, you know, get a lot out of these videos. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you in another one.